Hi everyone, and welcome to my Valentine's Day makeup tutorial. Now, a few things that you want to remember when it comes to Valentine's Day makeup was I did a bit of research. I asked around and I asked men what type of makeup looks they like, and the kind of resounding answer from the men I spoke to anyway was a fairly natural look, so a kind of look that makes the most of your features but you still look natural, kind of flawless skin, a slightly smoky defined eye, natural lips, no sticky lip gloss in sight, and just to kind of look like you're naturally radiant and glowing and perfect. Not a kind of particularly interesting look, but a very nice and flattering look was what most men tended to like. So that's the look I've created for you today. It's the look I'm wearing right now, and I also just wanted to mention the fact that a subscriber of mine asked if I was willing to do a kind of love advice type of video for Valentine's Day. So if you want me to do that, then let me know what questions you'd like me to answer. Put as many questions as you want in the comments, and I asked on my Facebook page as well, so if you want to go and put them on there you can do that. But I'd really love to know if you had any questions, and then I might try and film that tomorrow if I have time. But I'd really like to know if you had any questions or anything like that for that type of video. But I will let you get on with the tutorial now and not this really long intro. But I hope you like it, and I will see you. So I'm going to start off by applying a little bit of primer, and I'm using the Smashbox Photo Finish Light Primer, which is an oil-free primer. And I'm just going to apply this onto the areas of my face that tend to get a little bit oily and that kind of need a little bit of extra help. So kind of on the centre of my face basically, and just spread it out. You can kind of take a little bit under your eyes as well, just to get rid of any kind of lines and give you a smooth base. Then for foundation, I'm using my beloved NARS Sheer Glow foundation because it's a really kind of light finish, but it looks really pretty on the skin, and it just looks like your skin but better, kind of thing. So I'm just going to start to dot it onto my face first, and it does look a little bit dark for me, but once I blend it in it's fine. It matches my chest. It just, on my face is always lighter. I'm using the Real Techniques buffing brush to just buff this in. All over. And it's a very kind of light coverage, it's very natural looking. And make sure you kind of take it down your jawline. You don't want to see any lines. That's something that I've heard from a lot of men that you wouldn't think they'd notice, but they do, and they don't particularly like that. I'm just going to add a little bit more to the areas that kind of need more concealing. I'm now just going to apply a little bit of concealer under my eyes, and you can do it on any blemishes and that kind of thing. And I'm using the Collection Lasting Perfection concealer just under my eyes, and I'm just going to pat that in with my middle finger. I know most people like to do it with their ring finger, but I don't know why. For me it just works much more precisely if I do it with my middle finger. So just take that all around, make sure you've kind of banished any dark circles you might have, so you've got a really nice smooth base. And then I'm just going to use a little bit of the number 7 smoothing, what is this? Smoothing and brightening eye base. And I'm not going to use it as an eye base because it creases, but I am just going to use it kind of under my brow, just to kind of even out any veininess that you might have. You don't have to do this step if you don't suffer from that, but as I said, we want the skin to kind of look as perfect and as natural as possible. I'm then going to just lightly powder my skin using a big round fluffy brush and my Rimmel Silky Loose face powder, again just because you want it to look very natural and not a kind of overly made up type of powdery look. We just want it to look natural and flawless. So my powder is on, and then I'm going to move on to just giving my face a little bit of colour, and I'm going to use a fairly light bronzer. This is the Makevelieve bronzer, and I'm going to use this on the same brush as I used for my powder. Tap off any excess, and then just take it over my forehead, the bridge of my nose, down my neck, just to kind of warm it up because my neck is always so much paler than everywhere else. And I'm also just going to take a little bit kind of onto my cheek area. And you could, if you wanted to slim down your face, just do a tiny bit of contouring with it with a contour brush, just kind of in the hollows of your cheeks. especially if you've got a very round shaped face like I have. It really helps to kind of make your face appear. I'm now going to move on to my brows, and brows are a really important part of this look because they really frame your face, and I've heard a lot of men say that they don't like kind of really skinny, thin, harsh looking brows. So you want to make sure your brows look nice and defined but very natural. So I'm just going to brush through my brows with a kind of brow tamer, and then I'm going to lightly fill them in using this Essence eyebrow kit. I'm going to use the darker shade, the dark brown right here. So I'm just going to take that onto a little angled brush and just fill in any gaps, and do it very light-handedly. You don't want to make your brows look too harsh or too drawn on, which is why I find powder best for this, like so. And then I'm just going to brush through again with the brow tamer just to kind of soften the look even more. And now we get to the interesting part, which is eyes. Now eyes are kind of the focal point of this look because, as we said in the beginning, we want a kind of sultry and defined but really natural looking eye. I'm going to use MAC Bare Steady Paint Pot as a base just because it's got a nice hint of shimmer to it. So I'm going to just apply that all over my lid and kind of take it into the inner tear duct area, because that will act as a highlighter as well. So just make sure you've taken it all over both eyes into the inner tear duct as well. Now I'm going to start with my Urban Decay Naked Basics palette, just because I haven't used this in a video yet and I thought this would be a nice opportunity to. And I'm going to use the shade Venus, which is this shimmery kind of light champagne coloured one right here, and I'm going to use that all over the lid just on a flat brush. So you want to make sure you're taking it all over the lid, so it really kind of highlights the area, and I'm just going to kind of concentrate a little bit more on the centre of the lid so it really pops. Then with a fluffy brush I'm going to just take this kind of medium tone shade, which is called Faint, this kind of browny colour, and I'm just going to take that, and I'm using the technique of kind of looking straight ahead and doing it because I've got quite hooded eyes. You don't have to do it this way if your eyes aren't shaped like this. So I take it higher than most people would because otherwise it won't show up at all on me. And then I'm just going to use a fluffy blending brush to blend that out so you get a nice really subtle effect. So now that that's blended till you're happy with it, I'm then going to take a nude eye pencil. This is the Rimmel Scandleyes nude eye pencil. I'm just going to run that along my inner waterline, just to help brighten up the eyes and kind of make them appear bigger and kind of more wide awake looking. Then if you were going for a very natural look, you could leave your eyes just like this. If you want to kind of vamp it up and add something that's a little bit more sexy looking, then a really easy way to do that is by just adding a little bit of a darker colour around the lash line. I'm going to use this one right here, which is Crave, and on a small brush I'm just going to take a tiny amount. I'm going to make sure the kind of powderiness of it goes off, and I'm just going to run it along the base of my lashes. Not all the way in, just to kind of on the outer part of it, just along the base of your lashes. And I'm then just going to take another kind of blending brush, the same brush that I used to apply the colour with, just to kind of blend it out and soften it. So then I've gone ahead and applied 2 thick coats of mascara, whatever mascara you like. If you want a kind of volumizing one, then go for that. Personally, I think a lengthening one tends to be more flattering. And you could just leave the eyes at that. It's kind of a very subtle but slightly smoky, really pretty defined eye. But if you did want to just add a little bit of an extra kind of step, just to make it up a little bit, you could just add a little bit more of the darkest shade, which is Crave, into the crease and just kind of smoke it up a little bit, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave the eyes looking now for like the cheeks and the lips. On my cheeks I'm going to use a Bourjois blush, and this is in number 16 Rose, and I'm just going to use this on a fluffy brush on the apples of my cheeks, kind of on the upper part of the apples of my cheeks, just to kind of give a little bit of warmth to my face, but also to make my face appear slimmer, and just kind of add a little bit of a healthy glow. And then I'm also going to apply some highlighter. This is actually an eyeshadow by Minors, and it's in the colour Luna, and it's just a kind of shimmery white shade, on a fan brush onto the kind of high points of my cheeks, like so. And then I'm just going to go back in with my powder brush and just blend that in to make sure we've got no harsh lines. Then I'm just going to highlight my Cupid's bow to make my lips appear all kind of juicy and kissable, and just using a pale concealer, drawing a little shape like that. This is the Benefit It Stick, and then blending it out, you really define your Cupid's bow. And then I'm just going to lightly fill it in with a natural coloured lip liner. This is Bourjois number 11. Like so. And then for lips, this is quite a tricky subject when it comes to lips. Choosing the right texture and the right colour is really important, and I've decided to combine two lipsticks. I'm just going to use a light amount of the NYX lipstick in Tea Rose, which is just a kind of muted pink colour, just on the centre of my lips, and then I'm going to sheer it out with my finger. You don't want anything too lipsticky, but at the same time wearing a lip gloss is a complete no-no. And then over the top of that I'm going to apply some of the Maybelline Colour Sensational Pop Sticks in the colour Crystal Pink, which is 040, and it's one of those kind of sheer glossy type of things, but it's not sticky, it's got a lip balm texture. You could just apply a lip balm over the top. But it also helps to just brighten up the colour. And that is it. That's my kind of Valentine's Day natural to sexy look. As I said, if you wanted it to be a little bit more sultry, applying more in the crease of your eye would make it kind of very vampy, but to me this is a kind of natural but still very pretty and sexy look. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!